Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a crime action film. Deliver Us from Evil. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. This movie opens up with Shimada calling a hitman. He says he has a big assignment for the hitman. Shimada explains that no one else wants to take that assignment because it is too dangerous. So the hitman asks about the assignment. Shimada appoints the hitman to kill the director of the Kanto organization, Tokyo Branch, and the Kanto director is known to be a gruesome killer. Then we'll see a sweaty man whose back is covered with tattoos and another man on the floor in front of him who seems to be dying. The tattooed man is revealed to be the Kanto director. Later on, the Kanto director picks up a call in, and the caller keeps on asking the Kanto director to introduce himself. Then the man drops the call and the Kanto director says his name. This call bothers the Kanto director, so he proceeds to contact his men. Shortly after, he realizes that his men are all dead. Right after that, the Kanto director arms himself with a rifle, and he observes his surroundings. Suddenly, the light in his house goes out, so the Kanto director tries to shoot to threaten the intruder. To his surprise, the hitman strangles him from behind and tells him to be quiet. The following scene, In-Nam is introduced as the hitman, and he drinks beer in a small restaurant. Then, In-Nam picks up a call from Shimada, and they begin to talk about the Republic of Panama, a paradise for the world's richest, where they can hide all the money they have. Shimada says he could enter Panama for free. In Thailand's capital, In-Nam's ex-wife drops off her daughter, short-named Daughter, at the school. She tells her daughter that the babysitter will come to pick her up later instead of her. Later on, the ex-wife meets up with some real estate agents for a golf course investment. On the other hand, a strange babysitter fetches Daughter, brings her to a car, and they hurriedly drive away. In-Nam goes to another place to drink and read flyers about Panama. He receives another call from Shimada, asking him if he knows the man Chun Sung back in Incheon, South Korea. He talks to Chun Sung over the phone and asks what's the matter. Chun Sung says he is hesitant, but still decides to inform him about the ex-wife. Then the ex-wife contacts In-Nam for help, but she can't tell him what the problem is. In-Nam is obviously bothered, but he declines her request because of their past relationship. So the ex-wife reports to the police regarding her missing daughter and is desperate to contact In-Nam. She sees a big board in the station filled with many posters of abducted kids. She worries about her child and she cries. Then she receives a call from an officer who tells her that they found the kidnapper, but her daughter is not with the kidnapper. The officer tells her to come quickly, but also warns her not to bring the police. The next morning, In-Nam receives a call informing him that his ex-wife is already dead. Then the film flashbacks to 8 years ago when In-Nam was a part of the National Intelligence Agency and Chun Sung was his superior. Their higher officers were disbanding their team because they were now useless to them. Because of that, Chun Sung gives him a chance to escape and live outside the country. Then In-Nam meets up with his ex-wife, and he breaks up with her in order to protect her. Back to the present, In-Nam returns to Incheon to see his ex-wife's body. She apparently wrote In-Nam's contact details when she reported her missing child. The ex-wife's body is badly damaged. It is full of sutures as if the culprits took out her organs. In-Nam stares emptily at his dead lover. Later on, he finds the pictures of the ex-wife and his daughter together from the ex-wife's wallet, and realizes that the little girl is his daughter. Shimada informs him that a guy nicknamed Butcher has visited the Kanto director's funeral, and it is a big problem. Butcher turns out to be the Kanto director's younger brother, who is now seeking revenge on everyone involved in his brother's death. Shimada tells him the rumors that Butcher hangs his victims up and cuts their stomachs open. He warns In-Nam to leave in an instant. Shimada's taxi gets hit by another car. Then he gets abducted by Butcher's men. Butcher arrives and prepares to torture Shimada, just like how it was said in the rumors. He also finds Chun Sung and kills him, but comes across his daughter's missing poster and keeps it, realizing that In-Nam's heading to Thailand and decides to follow him. In-Nam arrives in Thailand and meets Young. Young informs him that child abduction is common in this place, but Daughter's case isn't just pure abduction. He briefs a real estate agent that the ex-wife met before her daughter's incident. They find out that he is wanted back in Korea for fraud, and it already has been a year since this agent is in contact with the ex-wife for that golf course investment, which means that he has set up the kidnapping of Daughter. In-Nam manages to find a hitman and strangles him inside his car. In-Nam cuts his thumb off in order for him to spill information. He admits that he used real estate as bait and waited for the ex-wife to deposit the money until her daughter got kidnapped. In-Nam asks where his daughter is, but the hitman says that she's dead, but it's the babysitter who killed her. In-Nam slits his throat and gets out of the car, leaving the fraud to die. On the other hand, Butcher is already in Thailand as well and investigating the kidnapping incident. The local gang he cooperated with tricks him in order to get more money from him. Upon realizing that this gang lied to him about catching daughter's kidnapper, Butcher kills them all. In-Nam finds the babysitter's house and ties her and her husband up. He asks her where his daughter's body is, and when she doesn't respond, In-Nam cuts off the husband's fingers one by one. The kidnapper screams that his daughter is alive. The man Young tells him that Keopo is an organization that has the main business of selling a drug called Yava, and selling children is only their sideline in obtaining organ transplants. Young introduces to In-Nam a transgender woman nicknamed Transgender. She will help him in finding daughter in exchange for Operation Money. Young tells them to pretend that they are trying to buy the child once they call the organization's number. In-Nam and Transgender go to a building and find out that it is a child trafficking den. In-Nam says he wants a Korean child, but the only Korean child, his daughter, was already ordered by another client and is now being moved to another location. In-Nam asks another child in that building if he has seen his daughter. The child says she was out for surgery. In-Nam orders Transgender to get all the children out, but Keopo's men see them. In-Nam takes them down. They find out that daughter was taken for heart surgery to a far province. Before they can get out, Butcher arrives in the building and finally comes face to face with In-Nam. Then they fall into a fight. Transgender escapes with the child from earlier, but gets caught by the police and accused as a suspect. The police raid the building that night and free the children. The Keopo criminal organization's boss orders his men to kill everyone involved in destroying his business. In-Nam calls Butcher through payphone and threatens Butcher that he'll die on his hands if he keeps on chasing him. Butcher then replies that he'll kill everyone related to In-Nam. On the other hand, the police are interrogating Transgender, and she tries to prove her innocence. She ends up telling them that In-Nam left for the said province. Then, Butcher visits a gun store, and he asks the seller to tell Keopo to come. The seller hesitates, so Butcher hits him with the gun, and he packs firearms for himself. In-Nam arrives in the said province, and he finds his daughter being taken away. So he chases after the van where his daughter is. Suddenly, Butcher interrupts and shoots multiple times in his direction with every firearm he has. The police fire at both of them as they both escape on their own. Keopo's men exchange gunfire with them too, turning it into a bigger mess. The SWAT team joins in, and they exchange fire with Butcher now, who throws grenades. In-Nam runs out of the scene and kills the surgeons before they can start the operation on his daughter and saves her. In-Nam treats his wounds and takes care of his daughter. The Keopo boss's business is turned upside down, and during that night, Butcher barges into the boss's place and asks for help to kill In-Nam. The Keopo boss asks why he wants to get In-Nam so bad, but Butcher says that the reason doesn't matter. Meanwhile, In-Nam promises his daughter that no matter what happens, he'll take her back home. In-Nam calls Transgender and tells her that he already got his daughter and asks her to take care of the child, but she initially declines for Keopo, and the police are still after her. Butcher finds Young and kills him. The next day, In-Nam and his daughter check into a hotel and invite a pediatrician to check on her. The little girl turns out to be just fine but stressed, and unfortunately, she is experiencing a psychological problem, for she isn't speaking at all. In-Nam shows her a magic trick similar to what her mother always shows her. In-Nam apologizes to his daughter for not being brave enough to protect her mom, and he promises that he won't leave her. The daughter lifts up her hand and encourages him for a pinky swear, which he seals. The daughter raises her arms, and In-Nam embraces her, and they let time pass by. After a while, In-Nam gets out of the hotel and meets with an American who tells him that he will depart from the second terminal of the Lim Chabang port at 5 p.m. the next day. In-Nam returns to the hotel and gets ambushed by Keopo's men. He goes into a fight with them once more and shoots. As he kills more on the way up the building, he gets stabbed on his stomach, but still gets up until he reaches their hotel room. But to his surprise, Butcher and some Keopo men are already in the room. The man brings In-Nam to his knees and ties him up. He begs Butcher to spare his daughter's life, who's already trapped inside a suitcase. But suddenly, Butcher changes his mind and shoots every Keopo man inside. He orders the remaining 2 to bring In-Nam somewhere else, for that's where he'll open In-Nam's stomach. He decides to settle his daughter first, so he orders the men to not touch In-Nam, or he wants to be the one to kill him. Transgender is hiding in the car park and sees the men dragging In-Nam to a van. She starts her pickup and rams into them. She unties In-Nam, but he chases Butcher's car where daughter is. He fires a gun, causing the crowd to panic, and runs away from the place. He aims at Butcher's windshield and shoots repeatedly, then jumps into the car before Butcher can run it to him. He strangles him and asks where daughter is, but the Butcher, whose body's full of gunshots, couldn't just give up without a fight. He pulls out his gun and fights with In-Nam as the vehicle is still at high speed, until it crashes to the side of the road. In-Nam recovers and realizes that his daughter is inside the luggage and gets worried, but Butcher's too fast to pick up a knife and stabs In-Nam in his chest. In-Nam picks up a grenade from Butcher's bag and detonates it, causing the vehicle to flip over and for them to have serious injuries. In-Nam unzips the luggage and tries to wake the unconscious daughter up. Transgender arrives and takes the daughter as In-Nam begs for her to do so. In-Nam watches them leave right before he detonates another grenade, causing the death of him and Butcher. Transgender runs non-stop and cradles In-Nam's daughter in her arms. Transgender unlocks a locker that contains the bag of cash and documents In-Nam left. It also contains the money Transgender asked for her operation, and all the documents she'll need to settle in Panama are in there. In-Nam left a voice note. He wishes for Transgender to take daughter there to his place in Panama, just in case he couldn't make it out alive. In-Nam also thanks Transgender for helping him. He says that he suddenly wanted to live the moment he met daughter, but for now he is entrusting his daughter to her. Transgender and daughter arrive in Panama, and the movie shows a picture frame of In-Nam's ex-wife and his daughter, along with a separate picture of In-Nam side by side. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.